Welcome to the Rumikay Talks Podcast, and today's guest, Dan Shaquette. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. I've been trying to interview you since the first time I heard about you, and when you reached me over email or Instagram way back in 2015, probably.
It's been 10 years?
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
Oh my God, 10 years. Yes.
Wow.
You're right.
See?
You're right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And now we're only meeting each other for the first time. So I mean, I love that.
Yeah. I love that too. So how was your week? What's happening?
My week has been good. Some projects. What's nice is like when you work on projects, you don't know how long it's going to take for them to come out. So I have a couple cool projects that kind of started coming out and like layering on top of one of each other, and you start to kind of feel a little bit of momentum, which is nice. And you don't know how long it's going to last, but a couple of projects are having some movement right now.
Well, that's we're definitely going to talk about it in a moment. But first, let's talk about young Dan and your journey to where you are right now. First, how did it start? When was the first moment when you thought, I think acting is something that I should try?
I think it was when I was making up commercials and writing down the headlines for the day, and then at the end of the week, I would present it to anybody that was in the house at the time. So I really enjoyed finding material and then performing it in my living room. I think probably a lot of kids can understand that. And I did it, and more and more. And then in 5th grade, I did this children's theater. Boston Children's Theater is where it started. I got my first kind of professional, but still children's theater role, but it was professional. And that kind of made me go, oh, wait a minute, I have to tap into something. So from there, I kind of went with it.
Well, that's pretty cool. And what was the first time that you got paid for your acting role?
Oh, wow. The first time I got paid was doing the play, I think it was Waxing West, which was a Romanian play at La Mama. So I got paid because it was an equity contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the first time I got paid. Yeah, doing my play Waxing West, not my play, but a Romanian play by Saviana Stănescu, an amazing Romanian playwright. And I got paid, and then we went to Romania, and we toured Romania with it. We went to Sibiu. We went to Bucharest with it. So that was a cool way to be like, oh, I can do this.
What was the most memorable moment that you can think of from Romania while you were performing there?
I think performing it at Teatrul Act, which was like a very big theater in Bucharest. And that was great. But I think the most significant part was that I was performing in Romania, which is where some of my grandparents are from. And they came, and my parents flew them out from Israel to come to Sibiu to see me perform this Romanian play in their country professionally. So that was really significant for me.
Wow. Well, that's I have goosebumps right now. That's a story for a movie.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Looking back, I'm so happy that they were able to do that. They were already old, but they were still mobile. And so I knew this is a significant thing, and to kind of cherish that moment.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And what was the next step after that? Like right after that? In terms of
the
acting?
next step after that was kind of realizing that, if you're not, you really have to kind of just, even if you are chosen, and, a lot of people do showcases when they're graduating, and some people in some programs, everyone gets to be part of it. In my program, not everyone got to be part of it. I didn't get to be part of it. And I recognized, because I didn't get to be part of it for whatever reason, because they only choose a handful of people. Mm-hmm. You never kind of know who gets chosen or not. That you kind of have to just meet everyone and as many people, and when you meet those right people, to work with those people and to continue doing that over and over and over and over and over again. And if you do that and you just reach out to people and meet people, they can either say no or they can say yes. And when they say yes, that yes can create a lot for you. And I value that when I meet someone who's like, yes, let's do something, and then they actually follow through. So when I do that and I get to make magic and they get me and understand me and I understand them and we kind of meet each other halfway in the middle and we create something, I'll almost always say yes to that.
And that's what I found remarkable about you when I was reading one article where you were mentioning how much work you put into reaching out people, going to actor showcases, visiting film festivals and things like that. And I think that's the job pretty much of the actor, to especially when they're starting out, to reach out to people, to get yourself known. And what I'd like to hear from you is talk me through this whole process of like, how do you go about to reaching people and how it ends up you being cast for a particular role?
I guess I kind of think of like all the possible ways that art is being made. And in my head, for example, film festivals is one. So like, that there's film festivals going on and that people are going to go to those film festivals and maybe you won't meet them, maybe you will meet them, but you're going to go see their art. And if you like it, then you go home and find a way to contact them directly, just as a person, human to human, and just be like, I really enjoyed your work, or I would love to meet with you for coffee if you have a moment, if we're in the same town. And you hope that there's a connection there that might be made momentarily, might be made in a week. This thing might happen in 10 years like it did with us, I think. And you just kind of don't know. And so you just continue to create and meet people and create and continue to working with the people that you do like while meeting new people. And it's kind of more simple than I think we realize it is, because we think that there's a lot more like red tape about how to create something with someone. You don't need that much of a permission, I think.
So how do you handle rejection or self-doubt that probably is in your head? I mean, it's in my head all the time, but how do you, like, when you go out, put your heart out, put your emotions out, and then it doesn't get the way that you wanted, how do you deal with it and how do you overcome that?
Okay, I think it's a cocktail of a couple of things. I think the first thing is I got so used to reaching out to people in a cold mailing way, not cold way. I think I reached out in a very, very warm way, or very professional way, not cold. But like, I think I just kind of got used to putting myself in a situation where I have to meet them, even if they might not be ready to meet me. And that's the scariest, to kind of like, you're going to put yourself out there and the person out there doesn't even know that you exist yet. So when you're meeting them, they might not even understand why you're reaching out. I got so used to the spectrum of rejections, I think, throughout the years, of just sending so many different people through so many different mediums, that I started to realize I got desensitized. I got desensitized to the idea of rejection. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And then when I see a rejection, it's not really a rejection anymore. I start to see it for what it is. And you start to notice that the reasons some people reject you, and I don't like the word rejection because sometimes it might feel like a rejection, and that thing that I reached out to ended up coming back in a good way. So I don't even see it as rejection. I just see it as that person in that moment either also misunderstood what I emailed, because a lot of the times people think I'm looking for like a project in that moment. And oftentimes it can be like, no, I'm just reaching out for the future. But if you kind of do that open-ended for now or for later, people just might reject because they're not in a good place, or they just don't want another email. And so I've gotten used to it. I don't know. It's like I'm more focused on the things that I get than the ones that I reject. I think I almost forget pretty quickly, unless it's a really nasty way to reject, which I'll always remember. I'll never talk about it, but it'll be interesting and funny, just to kind of go with the ones that I do, because those are the really ones that matter. The ones that matter are the ones that someone's gotten back to me and said, I really like your work. I really like what you're done and I want to work with you. So that already takes space for most of my mind. And then I'm a little bit like that, like a dog like that. I think that like it's out of sight, out of mind. And I think that's good, because I'm not sitting and harping on the rejection of the thing. Again, unless it's like something very specific, like very scary rejection and someone's being very mean, I don't think I'll remember it.
Yeah. I mean, That's what I came to realize also over like all of those years being here, or just being in America, I guess in general, that like it's a numbers game. Sometimes it's just a numbers game. You just need to put out whatever you have, and then someone who likes it and connects with you will notice it. And even if you look at the movie and TV shows on TV and movies, some people like this movie, and then the other group looks for another show or another movie. Everybody has different tastes, so
Right.
it's like there's so many opportunities. It's just
Right.
maybe that particular project or person wasn't right for you, and I totally agree with it.
That's such a good point, that there's so many, like you're saying, so many different ways to be creative is what you're saying, so many mediums. You can do a play, you can do a movie, you can do a short, you can do a 10-second video, you can do so many different things. So that already opens up new ways to be creative already.
Yeah.
Also, like when I was living wherever I was living, like when I'm in LA or when I'm in New York, wherever I'm at, I'm not thinking of my career as like a dimensional thing of like I'm in LA, so my career's in LA. I think of it as like my career is a thing that's a floating thing throughout the whole universe and can happen at any place.
Yeah.
So I have to think outside of where I'm at more than where I have to think inside.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So let's chat a little bit about your background in terms of your acting training. The Tisch School of Arts and the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. How do these two connect? Tell me a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, well, when I was in high school, like I said, like I kind of decided, like if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it, and I wanted to do it from when I was an undergrad. It was just kind of part of the instrument that I already felt like I had and needed to fill the instrument. So I was like, I'm gonna go to a good, a school. I got into Tisch, which I was over the moon about, and studied at the Lee Strasberg Film and Theater Institute in the city. It was amazing. I did a semester at Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. Studied there also, and so that was a good balance between Strasberg and something else to kind of just get a variety. And then I graduated, and then I kind of started trying to create things.
Is the Lee Strasberg School is the one with the red door?
Yes,
Yeah.
you know it, on 15th Street.
I
Yeah.
remember that one.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually went to a couple of showcases over there.
Yeah?
Yeah, there and Stella Adler School.
Okay, yes.
Also, there was one third one, Susan Butson. I don't know.
Batson, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the
Nice.
three I was scouting for some
For
actors.
some, yeah. It's very nice. I had an alumni blog that was done just about me, like was very sweet. Speaking of like the studio, that like just came out, so that was very sweet also to see like full circle, kind of like you study there and you're there, you don't know what's going to happen, and to see that it kind of full circle paid off in some way feels good. Yeah.
And when you study in not Germany, when you study in London, I assume,
Right.
were you speaking with British accent?
No, I did not do a British accent. I wouldn't want to do that to anybody. Yes. neutral English, American accent. Yeah.
What is your dream role that you'd like to perform? Or
Well, I think it's like my dream role would be like a film or TV role. And I kind of spoke about it, like where I think in like the Strasberg thing that I was talking about, where my dream role is something that hasn't been created yet. It's like on film or TV, it's a role that's like idiosyncratic. It takes into consider kind of like how I look, how I speak, this kind of like kinetic energy. And sometimes I feel like I haven't read a role yet that kind of like I go, that is written for me kind of thing. And it would be a film role probably. It would be a film role that someone would kind of like look at everything that I did and be able to write like a nuanced, layered role that I don't even know how to explain it, but they can. So that's really kind of like what I'm hoping for in the next chapter of my career.
You probably performed a variety of scenes, different emotional levels. So I'm curious, how do you prepare for like a heavy scene? What is your process? How do you emotionally prepare for like a heavy scene?
I think that it depends if it's like a play, if it's TV, or if it's a film. I think the medium kind of like, then it kind of gives you some domain of like how much time you have or how much preparation you can do. But I prepare in kind of, in a way that like I need to focus and concentrate as someone with like high level of ADHD, like late life diagnosed ADHD. I don't want to over prepare, but I prepare enough to kind of know my circumstances, my character, my relationships, the genre. And that's really kind of for TV, kind of how you prepare. And you also leave enough space to kind of be spontaneous so that you're not over preparing because you don't really know what's going to happen. So you prepare what you know, and then you kind of let your body and your mind do its work that you've already prepared, and go with it and see where things go. And it might change and it might not. Yeah, so the preparation, of course, if it's a play and it's very heavy, I will go back to a lot of the stuff that I learned. Like, I'm not going to try to show it, but I'll remind myself of like emotional memories and sense memory work or an animal exercise, whatever tool I need in that moment that's getting in the way or blocking where I feel like I need to get to completely be settled into the character. So I'll choose something probably that will be kind of the thing that will catapult me into the character. And then I'll let it go. Again, like I'm never really kind of doing anything, but I might take on something for a bit or manipulate my mind in a way using things that I've learned to kind of put myself in a situation, but not over preparation. I think that's a lot of what I learned, is to not over prepare. I used to prepare a lot, and you can get exhausted if you prepare too much. You can also sometimes just show up and not be prepared at all, and I do great work. I think it depends. I really think it depends on the day, how you're feeling, the material, what kind of intense scene is it, how much you really have about that, you know about it, and how much you don't. So I think it's a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, and I'm very curious about the audition process. Because I was listening to a couple of actors from the TV show Severance, and they were talking about their audition, how they get cast in the show, and I came to realize that I don't really know how the actors actually getting their roles. Like once they got an invite, how do you set up the lights? Like what things that you do to audition? And particularly, I'm interested in the ones that you did that got you the role.
So of course, people have agents and managers, and that's amazing, and that's a way to get work. And in addition to agents and managers, there's other ways to, like I said, get the work, which is to look online, see what festivals are going on in your area, theater festivals, grad school festivals, film festivals, whatever is going on, and reach out. I think you kind of reach out like a person, like I said, and you kind of say, hey, like I went and saw your festival thing, your 10-minute plays. I really liked it, and here's my information and my reel. And if there's ever a role, let me know. And I think if you do that, kind of like we do, like there's like a gym for working out, you kind of work that into a workout that you just do all the time, like a little bit of like a marketing workout, I call it, and you make it part of your daily thing. I think you'll start to see results.
You do all of that work, the reaching out people, going to festivals, going to plays and all other places. So how do you find time and place to recharge, to kind of like reset yourself, to not burn out?
I think that for me, it's so important to have that time, because it's not something that I might want to do for myself. It's something that that I have to do for myself. So I make it a part of my weeks in some way. Like, so being with friends, being with family, doing things that are like moving my body, doing things that are relaxing, all that stuff I have to do, because I have a bandwidth. I have like a certain amount that you have. And then when I feel that I'm not charged, I can't really give something if I'm not charged. So I know that it has to happen. So I build it in that life type of creativity, or like I get that feeling where I'm kind of disconnected from work stuff and build that into my week. Absolutely. It's like a major part of how I continue doing what I'm doing. That if I didn't have that, I would burn out. It's not. Does that answer the question?
Do you have any particular favorite things that you do? Maybe a particular game that you play, or like a place you hang out in New York, or something? I'm always on lookout for something new for myself. That's why I'm curious.
So I have to be honest with you. What I enjoy doing is I love going to the most random things. I get really a great rush by meeting, like, novelty, seeing new things, new communities, new groups. So I would say probably about like 7 or 8 years, I did this thing where like I randomly go on Google and will find random events that have nothing to do with anything. And I go to them and I meet people. And not only am I meeting, am I seeing a community or things that I'm not used to seeing, like I'm talking like a bingo hall. Yeah, I would go sometimes to like Burbank to a church basement and do bingo for an evening. Now, I'm not saying you should go and gamble, like take the gambling out. But like another thing is like I would go to like, some people go to like Atlas Obscura, which is like the 10 most bizarre things, but I would take it to another level. Like I went to like a belly dancing conference in some like hotel, in a hotel somewhere in the middle of nowhere in like Anaheim. And so I will go to these things and clean my brain a little bit. And while I'm cleaning my brain, I'm also filling it with some life. So for me, I hope that answers the question. So that's how I do it. And I will go to random things. Like I love conferences, like in random places. Cause I think like when there's a conference somewhere, that people want to talk.
When you say that word, it's so funny.
Conference?
Yeah. Like when you said I'm going to belly dancing, it already was funny, but then you added conference.
Yeah, like I was filming a movie and I was at like a Howard Johnson a couple months ago, and it was like, I don't know, a health insurance conference. Now that can be boring to most people, but I really like going to them because I'm going to meet people. You don't know what stories you're going to meet. They're coming from all over the country. So and that's kind of where I get my juice, by the way, for my stories. So like why I go back to them, because then after I've experienced something like that, I feel alive.
Yeah.
I feel like fulfilled with some life a little bit.
I feel like that's what no, actually, that's what I was thinking of doing, but I never got to do like all those weird places that I wanted to go, because I do want some variety, because especially in LA, sometimes you get really trapped into being like in this filmmaking world,
right?
Without like, I want to talk to some nuclear scientists. I don't know, like biologists, anyone else. Like I'm tired of film people.
You might get a great story from someone. You might meet an interesting person. You might have a deep conversation that will make you think of. I don't know. I just feel like it's like you end up. Everything has value somehow, and so like if you look beyond the business and go like outside of the business has value as much as it does inside, because that's kind of like where the growth happens in terms of your career. You don't also know, like that scientist might have a great idea and his brother is a roommate and he wrote a play, and that play is going up at the Hollywood Fringe Fest. And so you've now met a whole group of new people. You've met the person that you met, the roommate who's written the play. Like you think of it as like there's more value than the value itself sometimes.
I don't remember who said it, something along those lines, that like 80% of the job is to just show up.
Totally. I think if you show up, and a lot of times, like I kind of really thank the people that when I showed up, they kind of took me up with them. It showed, like when I do readings, and sometimes you're doing readings in some black box, and you're not getting paid. You're doing it because you love it, but like you end up understanding why you're doing that, because those people are constantly working, and you have a connection with them, and hopefully you'll continue working with them.
Yeah.
Building pods, building whatever you want to call them, building little
pods,
building little, things from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like building things. Yeah. I'm curious about what works of art, like books, movies, songs, plays, maybe poems, that you really love, that inspire you.
I like grew up, the movies that I grew up on were like the classics like Mary Poppins, My Cousin Vinny, Joe Pesci movie. I loved watching like the 90s sitcoms. Like I really loved watching like Full House and like Punky Brewster and like all of that was my Clarissa Explains It All. I loved growing up. I was watching Almodovar when I was like probably 11 or 12. Almodovar movies.
Hello.
I loved Requiem for a Dream. I loved Christopher Guest movies. I loved Best in Show. I loved a lot of obscure European movies that were like inappropriate probably for my age. That, you know, I probably shouldn't have been renting from Blockbuster, but that's where I wanted that kind of, I wanted art house movies from like, you know, but I didn't even know really why. It's not like I was purposely choosing that. That's just kind of what I was drawn to as a kid who grew up with parents who were immigrants, I think, and I was raised in the US, but I always had a little bit of this, like, a little bit of the US flavor, a little bit of European flavor type interests.
That's a lot of stuff. And especially 11, watching European films, it's crazy. Well, I feel like all of them not appropriate for kids.
I remember Run Lola Run until today. Famke Jensen from Run Lola Run.
I love Run Lola Run. Yeah.
Was a movie I loved. Like Wayne's World movies were like part of what I grew up on. Like a lot of Juliette Binoche movies. Julie Delpy.
Basically, Criterion Collection movies.
Criterion Collection, right, exactly. Yeah.
So I'm curious to know a little more about your adventures, the adventurous side of your life. I read that you once were sleeping, not once, I think you were doing it for a period of time, sleeping in a director's shoe closet on a mattress in Toronto, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that experience.
So, this was maybe about 7 or 8 years ago. I did a mailing and someone reached out to me. Wonderful. It's actually one of my favorite experiences that happened is she reached out to me, Martha McGrath. She lives in Toronto. She had a film collective and like a small film collective. And she said, I had a script. I'm thinking of doing something on some low budget. Can you, I'm able to house you, and she paid for my hotel, and we did it. But you'll sleep at my apartment, and I ended up filming this lead of a movie called Sweetheart, with a great group of people that today are wonderfully working, and I keep in touch with some of them. And we made this movie about this financial guy in Toronto who works in Wall Street and ends up. It is a movie and ends up falling in love with this Caribbean woman, and their kind of one night experience overnight. So it was great. And I slept on a mattress in her closet, and we made a movie, guerrilla style. People just kind of showed up. If they showed up, we showed up and we made it. And if they didn't, we adapted and found a way to get the shot going. We made a product. It was not easy to do, and I'm sure everyone knew it. It was freezing. There wasn't we kind of were doing it. We were in the trenches together. It was one of those trenches movies. And you do sometimes go, what am I doing? But it got into a lot of great festivals that until today was the basis of my connection to the Toronto film scene. So looking back today, before, someone might say, you're crazy. What are you doing? You're flying out to Toronto. You have to sleep in this closet on a mattress. There were cats. I remember Martha had cats. God bless her. I love her. But, there was cat food. I remember it wasn't, you don't know who's going to show up. You don't know how many people are in the skeleton crew, but it was really fun. And we got a lot of film festivals out of it. And it was great. And it ended up being a wonderful splice of life moment of time short film. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I imagine this experience. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then now you kind of feel like, well, now I've kind of understand a little bit of the Toronto. I have a little bit of like a taste of Toronto, and I forever now continue on with my Toronto relationship. It's just like nurturing anything else. You're just nurturing relationships, places, and with people.
Yeah, and it's like the whole experience is traveling to another country. Like all of the stuff.
Right, you get to see places while you're experiencing this thing that you don't know how it's going to end up, but you kind of have that creative faith, I'd say. Creative faith that like if you want to make something and these people want to make something, then great, let's make it, and let's actually like do it now in real time. Regardless of what's going to happen.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like this attitude. Yes.
While you always try to reach for things that are bigger and that you can like take a step back and just be an actor and not have to worry about anything. So you don't have to choose between the two things. You just fire in all You fire in all cylinders. You get a couple of things at the same time going, and you don't have to choose this or that. If one comes, great, while the other one takes a little bit more work and creative effort.
Yeah, once I did like a 48-hour challenge, and I really loved that experience because it really shows you that all it takes is, a group of creative people who have their own things that they're doing, working towards common goal, the movie, that then gonna get screened within those 2 days.
And then you can screen it, and you can show your dentist, his wife might be an actress who you don't know, like, or in that short film you can finally put online, and so those people that you've never met you can finally see something that you've done. Who cares where and what it's been? You made it, and you're proud of it, and that might lead to a role. So I just kind of I like just working. I really just enjoy working. I really do. I really find it satisfying to my soul, I think, a little bit, to work.
Yeah. If you could act alongside anyone, living or dead, who would it be?
Oh, man. So many people. I think that it would be fun to work with the Safdie brothers. I think the Safdie brothers that did like the Adam Sandler movie were like with the Hasidic Jews and the and the diamonds that won an award. I think it'd be fun to work with them. I think the Duplass brothers would probably be fun to work with. I would love to work with like who else? All kinds of people. That's a good question. I think those are the two that came out.
What would be a favorite?
Actors to work with. I can see myself working with like hopefully, if he ever does, I would love to work with Daniel Day-Lewis. He's doing like a comeback, I think, a little bit on something. I think it would be fun to work with like Catherine Hahn, Juliette Lewis. I would like to work with. I think I'd love to work with like that crowd. Maybe Lena Dunham would be fun to work with. People that kind of might understand my flavor, hopefully.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good group of people you just mentioned. Yeah. Although to me, the Daniel Day-Lewis always feels like a little bit intimidating.
Right. So you have to reach somehow. You have to reach for someone that might not be, but like absolutely, it's the idea, I guess, more than him, because who knows. But yes, that kind of actor I'd love to work with.
Yeah. Feature films versus TV shows. Which one do you think is better as a job? And what do you think is the future of both?
I love both, and I think I need both at the same time. I can't choose one or the other. I think I need one, and then I need it to balance with the other kind of format. The future, I don't know what the future is, and I think I'm riding that wave of uncertainty, and I'm okay with that, because whatever happens is, this goes back to there's so many people making films out there that I don't quite think that you have to choose, at least not right now or not in the near future. People who are doing whatever they're doing with AI will continue doing the things with AI, and some people will continue doing films without AI. And so remember that like people are making feature films all over the world, and stories have become really, really nuanced, I think, in terms of all over the world, people are making stories that are bicultural, tricultural, have people speaking many different languages, co-productions, people that speak English, people that don't speak English, people in their native language, a group. I think that there's work everywhere. So you can always find people that are working in your genre, that work in the way that you do everywhere. So the future, I think, is what you make of it, and you go and find that future.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then, you know, the AI, that's a story that's just like, will be what it will be, the AI. But so I think I just kind of think that you can either do that, do both, a little both, dabble, do whatever you want, explore. I don't really have a lot of boundaries. I don't have a lot, like in that terms of rules of how to go about, I think whatever, you go with your instinct.
Well, how do you personally watch stuff? You know, how do you watch TV shows on your TV, on your phone, on your iPad? Do you go to the movie theaters? How often?
Yes, I definitely go to movie theaters. It's sporadic, it's spontaneous, but I work it into my rotation in terms of like, you know, at least every 6 or 7 or 8 weeks, maybe I might go to a movie that I've been thinking of going to or I heard about. But yeah, I'll watch shows on my computer. It's fun, I think, to watch with people shows on big screens, but I'm someone that has a hard time doing that. It's easier for me on my computer. So I prefer when I'm alone to watch shows on my computer, but when I'm with people, I prefer someone to wind that up for me and let me sit back and watch it, because the whole process of like getting it and figuring out what platform and, I don't know this remote control, leave me out of it. I'm a little bit of an old man when it comes to that kind of stuff. I get overwhelmed by technology and simple things like that. So I prefer to be able to do it on my computer.
Yeah. That's why I got Apple TV like a set that you plug into TV. So then it's just the same interface, and I really enjoy it so much, because like
Amazing.
all other, they were so, you know, it's so hard to, you know, focus and stuff. And particularly I love the portion where it saves all the episodes and kind of like on one line that you've been watching on like on different platforms, and you can just click right there and it'll continue from whatever episode you're watching.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part, because like, you know, I mean, 15 years ago or so, I've been, you know, searching for those shows, you know, episodes, like seasons, and like, it was crazy. Now everything is so fast, so simple.
Yeah. Unfortunately for me, it doesn't do me much good, because the faster and simpler the more complicated for me, unless it's a button that you just press. And I know that's crazy, but like, it's just become too, like, I don't know. Yes, I need it simple. Like, what platform is it? Okay, Paramount Plus. Sign in on my phone, on my TV. Yeah. But maybe I can hire you to come over and like finally, what is it called? Like insert the put it together so that I can watch it on a big screen. Things, yeah.
That sounds like a fun activity to hire someone to do that.
I will have to hire someone. I will have to hire someone to kind of connect it, probably. Yes, which I haven't done yet. So thank you for reminding me. Putting it on my calendar.
Put it on the calendar.
Yeah.
Let me challenge your creativity a little bit.
Okay.
If you were an extraterrestrial from a perfect world where everything is in balance, and now you come to our world with all of its issues, so what would be the one thing that you'd fix?
I'd fix people's reactions to things. I think I would let everything be the same, but I would regulate people. I would make it so that we can have different opinions, we can all have different things, but regardless of how we're feeling, our emotions would be regulated. I think that's what I would fix, the first thing, that I'd make everybody be able to do that. Not that they can't experience things the way that they want to, but their reactions wouldn't be hurtful. So I would make it so that reactions or whatever someone's doing as a reaction would not be dangerous or hurtful to other people, regardless of what's going on in the world.
Yeah. That's a good one. There's lots of bad reactions because they're the ones that gain engagement. That's crazy. It sucks.
I think reactions, if you can get reactions under control, you could probably minimize a lot of things. So it might not be the fix for everything, but it's like the first thing that I think could be done is kind of like takes care of like the anger and the reactions that we all have. And we wouldn't let anybody get to a point where it could hurt someone.
Yeah. I think, some of those people, they don't even mean bad, they just want to
that's why,
send something into the ether,
Exactly.
And then when people confront them actually through social media, through comments, they say, well, why would you write that? And they actually become very, they apologize and they say, oh, sorry, I didn't even know that you see reading those things and stuff like that. Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
you would let someone have maybe the thought that they want to have, but they wouldn't react and hurt someone by writing it, or they wouldn't react by physically hurting someone, or they wouldn't react by doing something that would hurt someone. So emotionally regulating people would be my first thing.
I think actually technologically it could be a possibility, because with the AI and all of those scanning apps that allow you to basically filter, if it sees that you write something offensive, it just doesn't send it.
There you go. Exactly.
That would be a good solution, but I don't know whether it will work, because those comments actually the one that drive engagement. That's what's not good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Let me ask you my favorite question for fun.
Okay.
Obsession of the week. Is there something that you've been obsessed with, a book, a movie, a brand of toilet paper, anything really, that you would like to share?
Yes. I have become obsessed with the ideas of different waters. I am toying with my relationship with water, and I'm coming to terms with it. Kind of like I'm someone that has to be hydrated, not just in the summer, probably even more in the winter. So when you become obsessed with hydration, which is something that I have to do and work on, is you are feeling better, you're more crisp, you're sharper, but it also has to taste good. Some people like me don't love the taste of just plain water. So I've been obsessed with trying waters a little bit with different fruit flavors. I know a lot of people don't like it. I don't love it either, but I'm trying different things. And I've been obsessed with trying different types of waters. And I'm going through a rotation right now that best suits me, that I can find a routine of okay, these are the things that I'm buying now. These are the things that are always going to hydrate me. And I have to get into, a lot of people are doing the water bottle thing. I never did that in my life. And as someone with ADHD, I never can hold the I can't consistently do that all the time. It's not part of my day-to-day, what I do. So I have to find a way to make it a habit that my relationship with water is not just by water bottles. Have water bottles because I think I should treat myself to them, but I think I need to get used to the whole water thing, at least in my apartment, that you constantly are taking little sips. That's what I'm doing to self-care. And so water. And a little shout out to Clearly Canadian, which was the water that I drank when I was a kid. And it was my favorite flavored water, which is now having a comeback that I forget, some big star is funding in Canada. It's called Clearly Canadian. Shout out to Clearly Canadian.
Wow. That's something that I haven't even heard of. But I'm definitely going to check it out right now, after we finish the
Please
interview.
do.
But when you were talking about hydration and obsession with it, oh my God!
Speaking of, right?
In LA, people are obsessed with the hydration. I am hydrating.
Good.
I am. I feel like I'm. Sometimes I actually don't hydrate well. So
right? I don't hydrate consistently. I don't hydrate. And so making hydration consistent, regardless of the season, winter, summer, fall, whatever, is a goal of mine to get into. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure for me, in terms of flavor. Yeah, flavor is better, I guess. It's something to it. But when you start saying about different waters, I was thinking, because half a year ago, I was obsessed with different brands of water.
Me too.
Just plain, just plain water, but different.
Yes,
brands.
also.
Yes.
So I've tried Hint. I've tried the vitamin water. I've tried what other ones have I tried?
Evian.
I've done Poland Springs. I've done all kinds of waters and
Saratoga.
So yes, exactly.
Yeah.
These are things that I'm like, I really didn't think about a lot in my life. Like I never thought about like the types of waters and how it would like really affect my day-to-day existence. But here we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, me personally, I'm obsessed with water. I mean, not obsessed, but I prefer to get like mineral springs that I know that it's proven that it's not like a fake mineral spring or something like that, because it has the natural minerals, not added minerals, and that's kind of like the thing. And also, it's probably because I come from Russia, and we have this variety of mineral water. And there is like a special resort that actually heals people with different mineral water, and there is like different like numbers on that water. So one tastes like really strong, like some people don't like it, but it's really healthy for you. Then there's like less salty, like less minerals, and doctors over there, they actually prescribe you the water based on your disease, like what type of water you should drink.
No way.
Yeah.
What's the name? Is there one of these, or is this scattered around?
The brand called Yesentuki, and I actually once ordered it on Amazon.
Really?
A whole case, because you cannot order there like one bottle, because it's like I guess a rare thing. So I ordered the whole case, and
and that had a specific amount of mineral. You said like
yes,
it's like
yes, and it's written like what's like how many of each mineral is there, and the brand Yesentuki, and then they have numbers like Yesentuki 17, Yesentuki 4, or something like that.
And each mineral has like, is it just because we all match a different mineral, or is there kind of like number 14 is for like feeling this way, number 8 is for like if you want to feel this way mineral? Like what's
no, it's not about feeling this way, but I guess it's just about content of the minerals, like how many minerals your body need, or like which particular minerals you need. Some people need this, some people need more of that. And I think that's how it's based.
That makes more sense. Like, why would I think that they've connected a mineral number to a like it's like a perfume, where it's like if you want to smell this way, you take this mineral.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I heard some great stories. Like people actually in those resorts, they actually pour that water, well, because it comes from the spring, into like a pool or like a jacuzzi type of size bowl, whatever you call it, pool. And many people who have some problems with legs, like who come there on a wheelchair, some of them like leave walking because of the minerals and stuff, and what they do with your joints or something.
It reminds
like
me of the Dead Sea a little bit.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah. People come there for things like psoriasis. The Dead Sea minerals is very, very good for it.
Yeah, I remember my time in Dead Sea. Best. I was floating in that water,
exactly.
Like I was reading a newspaper. I was holding a newspaper and lying on water, like
amazing.
Crazy. Like Dan, is there anything else that you'd like to add that I missed, or something that you'd like to share?
I'd love to share that. Right now I'm on a show called The German. It's a Lionsgate show that has been running on Yes Drama in Israel. It finished its run, and now it's premiering on July 24th on Magenta TV in Germany. And then hopefully later dates will be revealed for US and other platforms. I'm in 6 out of the 8 episodes, and it's about the hunt for Dr. Josef Mengele. It takes place in the 70s, and it stars Oliver Masucci from Dark. It's Germany's first original show, the Netflix original called Dark. So he's wonderful. There's German actors, there's Israeli actors. I'm the one American actor, and there's a British actress. And so it's an international cast. It's a great 8-part show, and so I wanted everyone just to kind of know about that. If hopefully it'll come to a platform near you.
Awesome. Is there a way to stay tuned with it, like for updates on when it's going to be released?
Probably you can follow me Instagram. That's my name, Dan Shaked, DANSHAKED. Or Instagram is the best probably. And I think you can just Google the German Lionsgate and keep up with it. If you're in Europe, hopefully you can get Magenta TV, and if not, hopefully they'll do an announcement about it in the next who knows how many months.
All right. Then, that was a pleasure.
Thank you.